Annyeonghaseyo! Welcome to Afternoona Delight, where Lia, Megan, and Amy, romance novelists, and your K-romance guides. So grab some dekboki and listen to your new favorite unnies.
Hey everybody, it's Leah Riley here.
Hello, it's Megan.
Well, today we are missing our leader, Amy. What is she doing? I forget.
Something work related. I think something work related. Yeah, and normally when we're missing our leader, things can go off the rails, but we're gonna try. We're both a little tired today, so we're gonna try to stay focused and also not go real long. And
I
Leah,
feel like we just cursed ourselves with.
I know we did. God, I know. But Leah, you have the best reason, I guess I would say, for being kind of tired because you had a really busy week last week.
I did have a busy week. So my drama watching slowed to a creepy crawl. I kept falling. I'm watching Nevertheless. I don't have anything negative to say about Nevertheless yet. I'm really excited to continue through it. I'm only about halfway through though. And my issue it's not very long either, but this whole last week, every time I turned it on, I fell asleep. I fell asleep within a minute and a half. Yeah. I would wake up and my phone would be going in my hand and it would be like 3 episodes later and I'd have to stop and rewind. And the reason why I was falling asleep was because I was really tired from being really busy. Because we hosted 2 middle school Japanese students for a week. So we moved from 3 kids, which is a lot in a day-to-day, to 5. Yeah. And yeah, so we hosted 2 really adorable 12-year-old girls from our sister city in a symbiotic exchange program that we have.
And my favorite thing is you talked about the kind of food they wanted to eat. Like, it was funny because you had said your cooking isn't really your thing, but you really went all out to try to give these girls good meals and stuff. But you were always you would give us reports every day. You're like, all right, watermelon was not a hit this morning. I tried
Watermelon was definitely not a hit. So our first night, yeah. So food is a area that I don't naturally thrive in. Like, I am not a big cook. I'm just not. It's just never been my thing.
But yeah, before signing, okay, it is, what time is it there? It is 5. Yeah, it is 6 o'clock. Before we signed on, she left the screen for a little bit and came back just with bacon.
Yeah,
just random bacon.
That's my dinner.
That's very typical Leah. You never know what she's gonna eat.
I microwaved some Costco bacon and I ate 2 strips of it, and that was my dinner and this water. Yeah.
Very Leah.
But I can't do that to other children, and I really honestly can't do it to my own children much. It's just the reason why I can get away with it a lot in my day-to-day life is because, like the majority of American families with school-age children, my kids are in a lot of activities at night and they're busy. And so we are not abiding by best psychological practice of a sit-down family dinner every night. That's just not really in our wheelhouse. Yeah. My kids are doing fencing, they're working, they're doing kickboxing. Bronte's going to be getting theater soon. And so they're coming back at 6:30, at 7, at 8. And so we tend to do a lot of have food, and people are kind of invited to cobble together meals. And then, maybe once a week we do a family sit down dinner. All that to say, that was not going to fly for this week of hosting. So I knew I was in the game. I also am a parent that will be make yourself breakfast most of the time. There's bagels, there's cereal, get it out, make it yourself, and, pack your lunch. I am not a neglectful parent, but I think that these are kind of normative things that, especially as your kids get older. I mean, I don't have 4-year-old, 5-year-old.
Yeah, no, my kids pack their own lunches and make their breakfast too. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think it's fairly typical. We're training them for the next steps, but I could not expect 2 12-year-old Japanese students to come in and be help yourself to figuring out breakfast at my house, and help yourself to, making lunch. I had to be much more organized in terms of meal planning. And then I was also trying to be a little bit representative of what might be things that they would like to eat and things that they might want to try, yada, yada, yada. So yeah, so for the first night I was like, definitely have watermelon. It's summer, all American fruit. Who doesn't like big hunk of watermelon?
Yeah.
Turns out watermelon was just definitely like watermelon was left on the table for
Oh
sure.
man.
But then something that was really popular was I just made like spaghetti with meatballs. Spaghetti with meatballs was a real win. The mom even wrote, like, one of the moms wrote me about it, like, after the daughters returned home, was like, my daughter said she had experience eating your Italian cooking. If we ever
Italian.
meet, maybe you can teach me. And I was like, I sure can. You just open up those Costco meatballs and you put it in the
Yeah, I
marinara.
was like, if you make spaghetti and meatballs like I do, it's just box ragu, you know, value pack frozen meatballs.
Yeah, I didn't. I will say,
Italian cooking.
I wasn't out like plucking the tomato from the vine, like, the old country.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I was like, well, thank you. I'm glad that went down. And they like took
Yeah.
pictures of it. Like, I think they were excited to like try it. They were like taking,
That's
that
so
was the time they
cute.
took out their cameras.
That is adorable.
Um, but yeah, it would be like, okay, what do you want for lunch? And they'd be like, we like egg salad and fresh chicken. And I was like, okay, those both sound delicious. Neither of which I have the ingredients for. So like it was like going down at night and like getting eggs and hard boiling them and like getting a boiled chicken and like peeling it and being like, okay, I want to give you some things that feel familiar. The other thing that I did a disservice to them too, because we had to host them at the apartment because one of them had allergies, and so they couldn't be in our primary home, so they were on our campus apartment, which we tried to like render as like homey as possible, but I just didn't have like all the things here.
Hmm.
And so the first night I'm just like, I just lay everything out, all the cutlery, and one of them just picked up the fork like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna, like, I don't know what to do here.
Oh, I
And I
didn't
was
think
like,
about
oh
that.
shit, man. I
Oh,
was like, I don't, and I'm like, we have chopsticks at the house, but I don't have them here. And so I had to like really like scramble to like figure that out for them. And like, and she was trying to, she tried her best. And I was like, this is a developmental opportunity. Like, it would be like the same as if when Jared went to Japan, he had to like figure out chopsticks at the dinner
right.
table. But I was like, I can make this a little more simple for you too by like providing that. I'm trying to think of some other things that were, so going, like, at one point, obviously I was like, where would you like me to take you out? Like, what are some things you'd like to try? And hamburgers were like, definitely like, we would like to have hamburgers. So I was like, we can do this.
Hmm.
So we gave them options, and Burger King was chosen. And so I took the two girls to Burger King, and I was like, they had like the order on kiosk. I'm like explaining how to like do it. Obviously, like, they're familiar with order kiosks, but it's a bunch of different things that they've never tried before. And they both went with double bacon cheeseburgers. And I was like, okay. I was like, and this will be very big. Like, this is going to be a lot of food for you.
Yeah.
And they were just kind of like, okie dokie. So one got an order of onion rings and fries and a double bacon burger.
That's
And
so much food from
it
Burger
was,
King.
and like, they were so little, like so little. And
Yeah.
I was like, and I tried to, and they also had like a very big clean your plate mentality. And so I was trying to explain, like, I in while you're on this trip, you don't have to have that, because in my mind, I'm like, your portion sizes, like, for your like, whatever you're being raised with at home, you're probably being given a lot less food than like you're going to be receiving at most of the things where I'm giving you.
Oh my, like a big Burger King burger it's huge. It is a
It's big.
lot of food.
And so I just wanted to be like, I'm setting the expectation, like, you do not need to feel like rude if you don't eat this. I had like my
Right.
translate, like, I even like, because their English was great for what they came with, but also like so. And so, in my Japanese is non-existent. So I was like putting things, like, if I really want to make a point, I would put it in the translator, so I was really clear that they got it. And so
Right.
I was like, it is okay. Like,
Yeah.
you do not need to eat this food. It is not rude if you leave some of this food, because
Right.
there will be so much. One girl just pounded it. She just like, she hosed the whole burger. She hosed like a medium soda and then like a whole thing of like onion rings and fries. And I was like,
Incredible.
girl, amazing. And like,
Yeah.
the other one pounded a burger. Like, she got the whole thing down, but she was like, I cannot do anything else. I'm like, valid. Like, I
That-
can't even believe you got that in. Like, truly, like, wow.
I feel like they
But
ordered the
the other
most
one,
American burger too.
and so it
Like
set up
double
like
bacon.
Yeah, it did. And it set up like we went out to breakfast one morning on the weekend because I was like, going out to American breakfast is kind of a thing. And I tried to say again, when you go out to an American breakfast, you can expect to get a lot of food.
Oh God, yeah.
And like I'd say that is like probably like our most copious. Like when you say, I'd say that's like the biggest meal you're gonna get if you go out. Like you're gonna get a lot of food.
Yeah, breakfast platters at like say a diner. I don't know if you have
Yes, and I was
diners.
taking them to a diner, and so
Oh
I
my
was like,
God,
"Your plate is
massive.
gonna be massive." And so I
Hmm.
was like, again, no need to finish this. Like,
Right.
you're gonna have half the plate's just gonna be potatoes. Like, just don't even worry
Yeah,
about
half the plate's gonna be hash
it.
browns.
So they ordered a double stack pancake, sausage, eggs, and hash browns. You know, the plate comes as
Yeah,
like the full plate. The one girl, God love her, like she listened to me. She had like 3 bites of sausage, like like a little bit of egg, 3 bites of pancakes. She's like, "This is really sweet." I'm like, "I agree, girl. Like, I do not even eat. I don't eat pancakes. Like, it's too much. Like, I find them really stodgy. I don't really particularly love maple syrup. Like, it's not something I would go to and be like, man, I'm gonna clean my plate."
yeah.
But my little eating machine, she just like hosed down to there was like it was clean. It looked like you could just have pulled it from the dishwasher.
Incredible. She is me. She is my like I love it. I love that I mean, honestly, an American breakfast from a diner is insane amount of food. It's so much food. Like I when I went to like London, I love breakfast. So when
Like
I went to
English
London,
breakfast.
yeah, I was like I want an English breakfast. And I remember I got the plate and I was like this is not it was fine. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, London is sensible.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was gonna say it's a
London,
sensible amount of food.
it's a sensible amount of food, but I was like expecting to like gorge myself
Yeah, I need to eat
before,
until I'm in physical pain.
yeah, before I had to walk like 25,000 steps
Yeah,
and like 50 sets of stairs in London. So like I was ready to gorge myself and it was like a delicate little like one little scoop of beans. It was like a delicate little like one tomato, one mushroom. I'm just like where
yeah,
is the
a
platter?
sausage. Yeah,
Yeah.
no. You eat you eat breakfast until you hate yourself here.
Yeah, like that's so true. Like I remember like Sundays when I used to go to church, but when I was really little, but that was like the thing you'd go out for breakfast afterwards. You would eat until you were bursting and then you'd like go home and sleep. Like that's what
Mhm.
you go home and take a nap. Like this
Yeah,
is what you do in America.
and you watch sports.
And you watch football. Then you watch
Yeah,
football.
because
That's
it's
what you do.
Sunday. Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. Good for them. I'm so
So
glad
the
they
only
got
thing I
to
didn't, yeah, the only thing I did not get to with them, which I think is for the best, frankly, because at the point that we left, I was like, the night before, I was like, what, like, we went to the grocery store. I'm like, what's the last thing? Like, what else? Like, what else is there that you want to try? Like, the world is your oyster.
right.
And it was really cute. One thing was they both bought bulduk, like the Korean ramen,
Oh
because they're
my
like,
god.
we can't find that very easily. And they're like, we're gonna
Really?
bring it home so we can like eat it at home.
Oh
So they
my
both got like
gosh.
some cream bullduk, and then but the American food that they wanted to have first, just going into an American grocery store with someone not from this country, you see it with new eyes.
Mhm.
So I took them to Safeway. Safeway is full up on Halloween candy time.
Oh.
So the amount of candy that was around, like I
Yeah.
didn't even know how to explain. Like this is like there's always a candy aisle,
Mhm.
but there's like 3 candy aisles right
Yeah.
now. Like there's
Halloween's.
so much candy aisles, and these are bags that are built for like families to buy because in America, again, sorry, I'm just speaking to anyone who like is listening from overseas, which is half our listenership. You buy these like massive bags of candy because you get like in many neighborhoods you're going to get quite a few people coming by
Mhm.
and you have lots of candy, like it's a
I
big
s-
thing.
I
People
think I
spend
spend
hundreds of
60 to
dollars.
$70 on candy every Halloween. A big massive bags of candy cuz we get so many kids
Yeah.
at our house.
And so anyway, just going in, I think
Yeah.
like they're just like, oh, look at all this, and I just want to be like, they're gonna go home and be like, what, like maybe awesome, but maybe like weird. Like
Yeah.
it was so much. And then the other thing that like throws me in showing them was being like, here's our cereal aisle, because
Oh
the
yeah.
cereal aisle is wild.
It is.
It's a huge, long corridor, and it's like 90% shit.
It's the best part of America. I'm sorry. It's the best. It's the best thing we do in America. I know you're not a
It's
cereal fan, but
I'm
like
not.
I am. I could eat cereal for every single meal. Every single meal. I could eat different cereal. I love cereal.
I don't think I've eaten a bowl of cereal in 20 years.
But then you go to like it's so funny because I've heard that numerous times that people from other countries come to America and they're like, "What is the deal with your cereal?" Because we just have so much cereal.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I took them in. They were like, oh, yeah, this is the thing we want to try before we go. And then they saw Fruit Loops and they were like, Fruit Loops.
Oh,
So I
so
bought them a
funny.
box of Fruit Loops and then made them dinner the final night. And then I was like, for dessert, would you like Fruit Loops? And they were like, yeah. And then they like pounded like 3 bowls of Fruit Loops each.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, I mean,
So
Fruit Loops are great.
there we go.
So funny. Well, I'm really
So
glad.
nevertheless, took a back seat. I'm ready to resurrect it this week. I've also got a couple of other dramas I want to get on the table now too. There was one that was recommended to me. I'm just going to pull up the name of it. It's called Cinderella's Closet. And one
Right.
of our listeners, Gavin, recommended it to me, saying, since I like Coffee Prince so much, they recommend that I'll like this. It's on Netflix, and I guess it's a Japanese drama. So I want to give that a try. And then we both and Amy are all excited about 12, which finally has made an appearance in the United States.
Yeah,
At
because
last.
for Amy was really upset because she had specifically set a night aside to start 12.
She did last week.
She did last week. She was so excited. And then she sat down, turned on the TV, and 12 is nowhere to be found in America.
Nowhere to
And
be
it
found.
and it was already airing, like so she knew. She was like seeing like already people talking about it. I think people in the UK were getting like other people were getting it, but we weren't. And she was so mad. She was really in the mood. She was really in the mood. It's very much kind of like an Amy drama, like the supernatural element. But anyway, it's here for us now. So I think we all are gonna watch it. But
Yeah.
anyway, thank you for telling me about the girls. I'm so fascinated. I always love to hear, especially how different people view American food because I do think we're insane with our food, but I'm glad they ate Burger King.
Yeah. I'm glad that they, yeah, it was fun to just watch and also reflect sometimes on, we are such a hodgepodge too of like our
Hmm.
food, like, there's not a lot of like uniquely American food. It's like we've like been adapting everything because we're a nation of immigrants, so most things are kind of adapted or borrowed or retried. So like chicken teriyaki here is
Hmm.
not something like the way that we're preparing it and eating it is not like a normative thing that they're going to be having.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, for sure. But I think what's uniquely American is our portion sizes. I think that's what's uniquely
Yeah,
American.
fair.
um.
um
Okay.
I'm trying to now, like, I'm like, how do we do a segue there that's not
Yeah,
problematic?
I don't think there's a segue. I don't think there's a segue. Well, today we're actually talking about attraction, and this is the thing is that we recently did a podcast on sexual tension, which to be honest was I really liked that podcast. I
Hmm.
thought we talked a lot had a lot of interesting points. I think our listeners liked it. We got some feedback that kind of prompted them to think about how they react to sexual tension in K dramas. What are their favorite scenes in K dramas that have a lot of sexual tension? So that was fun. So it kind of then snowballed into us thinking, well, why don't we talk kind of about like attraction in K dramas and the different ways we view attraction, the different kinds of attraction and things like that.
Yeah, because I think one thing that's interesting is, especially when we're talking about sexual tension in that episode, we really approached it from, in many ways, like a writer's lens,
Yeah.
which is how we approach a lot of things because being writers, it makes sense. And there's an element of attractiveness in fiction. Like you're kind of creating characters in your head and, following them along. But when you're watching dramas, you're introducing that visual content,
Hmm.
and then that starts to bring in like the visuals and the visual attractiveness of things.
Hmm.
But then, as we're going to unpack today, there's many forms of attraction too. And
Yeah.
so we just decided, as we were kind of like playing around with concepts like this is one we haven't really gotten into too much. I mean, we've often talked about being attracted to people or like foibles with
Obviously.
being attractive, like fingers in the mouth or whatever. But we haven't like done a whole show on it. So we thought that this would be a fun one for Megan and I to tackle tonight.
Yeah. So how do we want to start? Do we kind of want to start talking about the different kinds of attraction and then go into like some of the questions you had? or how do you want to start it?
I think let's actually go more specific questions,
Go
and then
ahead.
that will kind of, I think, open it up a little
Okay.
bit.
Let's do it. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So we both kind of came to this with a couple of questions and a couple of discussion items. And
Mhm.
so I can kick it off.
Yeah.
We can kind of go through mine and back and forth it. So first of all, just in terms of K dramas, it is a fairly common trope, and it's also a common trope just in shows in general. Like the 90s were rife with this as well, and like the Y2K era, where you have kind of a plain, it's almost always a woman, not always. I really always look for reverse tropes of this, but often a plainish girl becomes gorgeous. Like I'm looking at you, True Beauty, for example. So, just as a general point of discussion, have you ever actually become less attracted to someone the harder they tried to look, quote, perfect?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's attractive when you like embrace flaws. I think maybe what I find not so again, I think what I find not attractive, especially if we're talking about like K dramas, but even kind of in person, is kind of like an overall lack of confidence. So, because we're all like not perfect, we all have flaws, we whatever. But and so I always like people who just kind of like own it, and they're not always so worried about making mistakes or like looking like less than. And so that's not really fair, but sometimes when it's just like the constant kind of like need for perfection is I'm not usually going to find that attractive.
Hmm. So, I can use an example again. I got to go in the way, way back chair, like back to Y2K basically for these. But
Yeah.
I had a situation ship at one point a long time ago with a friend's friend who was like a popular bartender in my college town. So he was a bartender at a cool club. That was a good connection to have someone think you're cute because like I'd get free drinks. And for like the better part of 6 to 8 months, we had like a lot of verbal banter on the weekend. Like, like they weren't somebody I spent all my time thinking about, but whenever I did, it was fun. It was kind of flirty. It was a whole thing.
Hmm.
And I would say that they were like attractive, but I was mostly attractive to like the banter. Like, we had fun banter on the weekends. Like you'd go through and like hang out for like an hour and it was always like nice.
Hmm.
So they ended up asking me out on a date. And I was like, yes, I'm going to go out with like, and he was also a frat boy and I'm not a frat girl or a sorority girl at all. So I was like, this is like an anthropologic experience. Like I also said yes to it under that lens. Cause I'm like, he's
Yeah.
cute. He's definitely, I've never really like gone for kind of like the like frat boy vibe. But it's also like cute bartender, iconic. Like, yes, I'm going to go for it. Give it a chance. Let's go on a date. And I believe he did what would be considered all things normatively right. Like
Hmm.
he clearly groomed a lot beforehand. Like those frosted tips were like super
Oh,
styled.
the frosted tips. Yeah.
Lots of cologne, dressed up, dressed to impress. I got in the car, in sync was queued up to
Oh,
like
okay.
hit play, in sync goes.
Uh-huh.
We got to a restaurant and like the wine was poured and he did the whole like spin it, like, tried it, tasted it, whatever. I was so turned off from all of it. And like I've thought about it since because I was like, they really made an effort. Like they made what would have been considered like a polite, like I'm going out, like I'm putting my best foot forward.
Hmm.
And so it gave me the ick so hard. Why? And I think it has to do with like authenticity too. And so it felt like there was like a persona that had to be put on that was like I'm on a date persona. So like the fun jokey banter thing we had was gone. And it turned
Oh,
into this like I'm on a date, it's time to like woo you with like the moves.
yeah.
And I was just like, oh, like no. And so you look really nice, like you clearly like work out, like all the things are coming together, but I'm just like not into it at all. And then I've thought about it since because again, and this is just me because attractiveness is very like being attracted to people is very personal.
Hmm.
And so, but something like I've never found like the hyper sculpting body types incredibly attractive. Like
Hmm.
I understand some people put a lot of effort into that physique and there's a lot of I've got some friends who've gotten into like bodybuilding, and it's really empowering for them, and I'm happy for them in that. Um, but for example, when I went to Seoul, the muscle movement's very prevalent in the city at the moment. So like
Ah, okay.
a lot of gyms had like A-framed boards like in front of the gyms with like 12 packs and like full men cut like titties and like just posing, and it was
Yeah.
very much like come and like get hot like this, and I was
Hmm.
like, man, that's just like not it for me. And there were like Magic Mike type shows. Like you could go to like male reviews where it was like, super cut men, just like Vegas has this too, but like Soul, this was like a moment in Soul too.
Hmm.
And I was like, no, like I can't think of anything I'd want to do less. And again, this is me. This is
Right.
my take on it. I'm not passing like a more, if somebody else is like, hey, I really enjoyed doing that. It was really empowering and liberating to me. Fantastic. But for me, not so much. And I guess that's, so I'm also using that of like, that overly trying to like fit a certain thing. I just become less curious, and then I check out.
Yeah, I would say too, like I'm it's the same thing. Like I remember what was really attractive to me when I met my husband was um like he didn't change when like we kind of like moved into like the stage of our relationship from like friends to obviously more than friends. And I remember he didn't change, like he drove a crappy car, he didn't have a lot of money, and he never put on the front that he did. He never he never tried to put on a front that he like had a lot of money. He was just like, "Do you want to go to the grocery store with me?" Like we would run errands together. And I remember really liking that. I remember it feeling very normal. We were doing like normal things together. We'd go eat at the dining hall together. And I know
Hmm.
this was in college and so no one had money, but I still felt like he could have tried to like put on airs, and he never did. And I had boyfriends in the past who like had. So I did really like that too. Like just I don't need things to be perfect. I just need them to be real.
Which, isn't that a nice closeout to that question of, in most dramas with like the ugly duckling makeover, that is the moral that ends up happening in the
It
story,
always is. Yeah, it always is.
is beauty is on the inside.
Yeah.
All right, so moving along, another thing that often happens in dramas are, it's pretty common to have a male lead and then a male second lead. And often the male lead is a bit colder, emotionally unavailable, brooding, if you will. And then the second male lead is usually, um,
The safe
sweeter,
choice.
the
The
safe
safe
choice.
Yeah.
Interestingly, though, and this is why I think like startup really flips that on its head, doesn't it? Because I would say like the more golden retriever character is the male lead, and the
Yeah.
colder standoffish
Oh,
becomes the second male lead,
100%. You're
which
right.
is
The
interesting.
safe choice was the male lead. Like she
Yeah,
chose the safe choice that seemed custom tailored to her. The risky choice was the second male lead that she
yeah,
didn't
and the
choose.
emotionally unavailable, like one with the baggage that normally would be, and so I think that's why a lot of people were like, I
Yeah.
wonder, as we said that, like as soon as I said that, I thought of startup, and I'm like,
Yeah.
because it's been one of the great debates of like the last 4 to 5 years that we've been in drama was like
Yep.
with startup, everyone was like justice for good boy, including me. You're one of the like few holdouts that like loves the hero and like
Love
love the hero,
Nando-san. Love Nando-san.
but it makes a lot of sense to be like, we're kind of like, we have these like expected norms, and one of them is like the aloof kind of emotionally layered tortured person kind of like works through their baggage and becomes the male. And so I think
Right.
again, people were like, I like, that's what I'm so used to the promise. When I didn't get that, it felt wrong.
Right, because it was coded that Good Boy should have been the lead. And it's funny because we so Amy and I just recorded a podcast on Head Over Heels, and Head Over Heels is exactly like the first thing, where you have like the second male lead is like a totally normal, emotionally balanced best friend. Like he's charming, he's attractive, again, mentally healthy, okay?
Yeah.
And then the male lead is this like cursed, depressed, layered lead. And but she's like love at first sight. I love this man. He's gonna die in 21 days, but I love him. He's love at first sight. And she completely ignores her like amazing male best friend who's in love with her.
Mm.
Okay, she's like completely oblivious, but it's funny because that is like exactly what you're saying. It's like the safe choice of the second male lead, but she's going for the like tortured hero.
Mm. So how about you? Like, would you say that like you know, just in general, and look, I know we've both been married like 5 bazillion years. So it's just like when we're talking about just kind of like fantasy spaces, I would guess more than like real life even.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're gravitating towards more of that like cold, emotionally unavailable guy or the like more golden retriever that's often in like that second male lead role?
No, in fantasy spaces, I'm always going for like the tortured, emotionally unavailable lead because I would never choose that in real life. That's why it's a fantasy space. It's
Mm,
fun for me in a fantasy space to to experience that because I don't want that in real life. I didn't
mhm,
choose that in real life. I chose like a very mentally stable husband who's like, he was like he's a safe like in a good way. Like I'm not in the second male. I don't know how to explain it. You know what I mean? But so in a fantasy spaces, I'm always I mean, I'm gonna want the like demon possessed lead from head over heels who's gonna die in 21 days. Like that's what I want in my fantasy spaces. I want like the Gumio. Okay. Like my roommate is a Gumio. Same thing. I think that I'm trying to remember the second male lead. I think he still had some issues, but he was definitely like safer. But no, she's going for like the emotionally unavailable Gumio that like forces her to live with him because she has his fox speed. Like that's what I want every time. That's what I'm going to choose in a fantasy space. I realized in startup I didn't, um, but I don't think that necessarily Good Boy was like he wasn't tortured enough for me.
mm. I mean,
I know,
Jesus.
I
You're like
know.
home run or nothing.
Well, no, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say he wasn't tortured enough for me. I think I just connected really well with Namdo-san. So I think Startup was just a little bit of the exception for me. But I mean, one of my favorites is Love Between Fairy and Devil. Like, can
Mm.
you get any more tortured and cold than Moon Supreme? You know?
I remember
And
rewatching.
what a Dear Hongrong, we just covered. Can you get any worse than Hongrong?
There's not a lot. No, I think that's like the OG of tortured bad boy.
Exactly.
Um, yeah, for me, look, I mean, emotionally unavailable, like,
Yeah.
like it's like a bowl of spaghetti.
Eat it like a bowl of cereal, a bowl of Fruit Loops.
Yeah, and I think it's just like, you know, it's even turned into memes of like not like the other girls. And like of course in real life, like nobody wants that. Like or I don't. Like I mean, that's not like behaviors. But yeah, there is, you know, I can fix him. Like
Yeah, I can
these
fix
are
him.
memes and jokes and cultural norms for a reason. Do I
Yeah.
think that they are healthy for us to I mean, it's fascinating that it makes it attractive because there's so many bad things that happen because of it.
Hmm.
And yet I can't deny that like I am attracted to it even if I
Yeah.
know that there's bad reasons for it. And then there's always like exceptions to the rule, like something like Kong Hanul's character in When the Camellia Blooms, which is like so golden retriever, just such a little like puppy delight, and that carries it. Like that is, you know, you're all in on that too. But I
Yeah.
mean, if that was just drama after drama after drama was like that personality, I think that you'd have a lot of people being like, no, I need to have more of this, like, you know, because we're trying to like get into someone's brain, play around with the wiring, and then be like, what's in there, and like, how are we going to make our connection? Because if you're too emotionally available, like, where's the conflict in the story? Essentially, in real life, you do want to find people who are emotionally available and sweet and warm.
Yeah. Well, I think we love the conflict. I think we also want to believe, I think we want to believe people are redeemable.
Mm.
Okay. So I think we want that fantasy that first of all we're the ones to fix them and that people are redeemable. Like we want to see, I think it's some like we live in a world, I mean we're battling the patriarchy. So sometimes we want to believe that there's good in some of these men who it seems like there isn't any good in them. So that's also like a fantasy as well. Like I'm like, oh, maybe they're just a tortured hero and the right person will save them. Like I just there's just
Even
so
though, like,
much. Yeah, where when really no, they're like hopeless. But yeah, but in fantasy spaces, that's what I want to believe. And I just love the conflict every time. I think also you have a hero like that, and we've talked about this before. The conflict is just so built in, and so as a writer and a storyteller, you're not manufacturing all this like external conflict that just like drags it down. You just have this beautiful like internal conflict. You have a perfect hero's journey, um, and that's what you want to follow.
and that's what, like, and what you said too is like really important, like this hero journey and the conflict, because real life isn't 12 to 16 episodes or a 350-page book. So
Yeah,
you want to have that kind of a story to be maintained in a piece of fiction that you're going to consume and set down. Your real
yeah.
life isn't going to work like that. So
Yeah, and then you get, I mean, again, you get this like resolution of like this damaged person um getting happiness. And that's just such an endorphin, that's such an endorphin rush or dopamine
mm.
hit, both of them. Um and so that like that's always going to draw me in every time. If you give me a hero right away who's like tortured and grumpy and who thinks that like they can't ever have anything good and then you give them something good, um I love that. I mean, I will say the writing can take it too far. You can have a hero who's just like mean, and then like once I get the ick then on a hero, I'm turned off. But I would say generally K dramas do a pretty good job. There's only like a few, again, 1% of something that hero was just mean. He was not damaged. He was just mean. So I didn't like him, and I didn't like the drama. So it definitely can be done wrong, but I would say most do it very well.
So I am going to hit you with a question that you don't know because I just thought of
Okay.
it. So, like in dramas, you always see characters getting these like butterflies from getting like a back hug or a forehead kiss, like instead of like, a heavy makeout session or something like that. So, for you, what is a like non-sexual thing that's gotten you like way more like flustered and Twitter pated than maybe like you would have expected? Like, can you think of any moment or thing that's happened to you where
I feel like I might have told this on the pod before, but maybe I don't know. Um, I still remember like my husband and I had been like circling each other in college, and we were in his dorm room alone. We were kind of like playing around. Um, and at one point he kind of like it was a back hug from behind, and it kind of rendered both of us like silent. Like I think it was like we hadn't really physically touched at all. So
so you
this was
had a
like
real you had
like I
a
had
legitimate back hug?
it had a real back hug, and we kind of like both sort of like fell over on the bed. So like I was facing like the other dorm bed and he was behind me just like hugging me. And we were both real quiet. And then he just says in my ear, I like this. And that was it.
Mm.
It was it. And I remember I was like, my belly fluttered. I was like, oh my, I mean, I was like gone. Like I was just, I don't
You're
know.
like,
It's just
we're
like,
getting married.
yeah, it was like three like simple words and it was like the back hug. And that was like, yeah, I mean, I don't, it didn't feel, there wasn't, it didn't feel sexual. It felt like, oh my God, we like, it felt like a K drama, like just
Mhm.
that like little, that like kind of innocent physical touch. Cause that's what it felt like at the time. And just the like, I like this. Um,
That's so cute.
yeah. And so I thought about that a lot. Like that was kind of like, definitely a belly fluttering moment. I don't have like a grand like healer
No,
hand
that's
brush
a
in a
really
movie
good one.
theater. But yeah, that was probably when that it's like that is a moment That is a core memory I have, basically.
Which is funny because like this did not get me fluttering, but I'm just laughing because I was like, I'm trying to be like, when's the first time I can remember my husband ever touching me?
Oh no. You gonna say?
And he like in a time that at this point he liked me, but we had so many complicating factors into our relationship. But so the university that I went to in Australia had like a bar. So in America, like it's not common to have a bar at the university. It was very common because it
Oh,
was 18 drinking age. I think it was like common to have like university bars.
right.
So we were outside the university bar, and I was wearing my favorite pair of jeans. Like the jeans, all like every girl has a pair of jeans they feel cute in. I was wearing my
Yep.
cute girl jeans.
Cute girl,
Love
cute.
my jeans. I was also in Australia, so it's not like I had like a lot of clothes.
Mhm.
I'm standing there in my cute girl jeans, and my husband jumped out of a bush. The first time he ever touched me, he grabbed me drunk and tackled me to the ground.
What?
I have a scar on my knee from it. My
Stop,
my
Leah.
jeans split open, like my knee exploded. I still have a scar. I had blood coursing down my leg, and he was like, and I'm like laying on the ground, like, what the fuck just happened?
Oh
And I've been this
my
like short
god.
little like Australian drunk gremlin, like
Right.
like laying next to me, and I was like, so as you were telling me this like sweet story, I was like, that popped in my mind, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. And I just remember like the rest of my trip, I had a pair of jeans with like a big hole in the knee, and I was like, I guess I got like holy jeans now, but like I didn't really want to. These weren't jeans I
Yep.
wanted to particularly have be my holy jeans.
And when we were in college, the like distressed jeans weren't
No, it
they weren't
wasn't cool.
popular. Yeah, it was
No,
like
it was
it
seen
was
as like old, like that was like what like butt rockers were wearing, like in the 80s.
right, right. Oh my god, that's so I mean, I'm not saying that like my husband like we have our don't we have our moments.
Yeah,
That was
no, no,
just
no. I was
but
just like,
that
as you said it, like I was trying to think of a cute one, and then that one popped in my mind, and because my stomach did not flutter. I was like,
no.
what was that?
Yeah, no, no. Well, I think
Um,
there had been one time I think before that where he did like try to kiss me, but it was like a drunk kiss, and like it was like did not connect.
mhm.
I think, or maybe it was after that. I don't really remember. All I'm saying is like relationships are messy. Like I definitely had those moments with him, but the good core memory I had.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
Um, okay. How about okay, this is one that I want to get your take on.
yeah.
So K-dramas really love things where characters realize that they've been in love with somebody but didn't know it. And so it could be like a childhood thing. It could be that like it's your coworker. It's just like you've been in love with somebody and you just didn't like it's your best friend. Like, do you buy that? Like this idea that like you're in love with somebody and you don't know it?
I don't know. I guess I can buy. I I don't know. And the thing is, I do love that trope. The like, I'm having feelings and I don't realize what they are. I think it's plausible if you're like kind of a better late than single type person and maybe you don't understand the feelings. I think that can be plausible. I don't necessarily buy like the player who doesn't realize he's in love with like his best girlfriend. I don't necessarily buy that because he like knows what feelings are. Well, or maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't know what love is. I guess I do buy it. I'm talking myself into this.
So
I'm ta-
I mostly don't buy it and I'm almost always calling bullshit, except I think I am that person.
well, see? Then it can
And
happen
so
in
here it is.
shows
It's like
too.
because I'm like, I don't believe it, except when I unpack my situation. I'm like, it kind of like there it wasn't just like all of a sudden like I'll give like the framing of what happened to me, and then I guess I'll say where I think it's like got believable aspects to it, because it's always one that I'm like, really, I mean, I'm gonna go along with it, it's cute, but really.
Right.
So when I first met my husband, like the very first moment I saw him, I had physical attraction to him. I thought he was
Mhm.
really cute. And he didn't see me. He was like working in an office, typing on a computer. I was walking through like the university and I looked in and I saw him and I was like, he's really cute. And so I proceeded to be like, what am I going to do And so I went, like, I was like, I'm gonna linger. I'm gonna like linger in the line of sight to just like see if I get noticed.
Mhm.
Like I couldn't even tie my shoe because I was wearing I remember I was wearing Birkenstocks. So I was
Of
like,
course
I'll
you
tie
were.
my shoe, and then I went to like tie my shoe, and I'm like, fuck, I'm wearing Birkenstocks. So I did my belt. I unbuckled and buckled my Birkenstock. That was my big move.
I, okay.
He did not. He did not look over. He did not see me. He did not look over. Apparently like later in like that day or that week, we passed down the stairs and it was like crowded, and he like noticed me at that time, he said, and was like, dang, like, because it was, our university was very, it was like it was very small.
Mm.
And so he was like, cute new girl. Anyway, so I think I've shared before, I won't like belabor the story, is that when I met him, he had a girlfriend he was living with. So I met this girl like separately to him, like in an interaction, and she was like, you should come to my house for dinner. And I was like, great, somebody's going to feed me, because we've already established in the show I don't like to cook. And that goes way back to the beginning of time. Like, I love to eat. I love people to cook for me. I am not great at providing for myself. I think at that point, I was really broke the majority of that trip. So, and I wanted to like drink because, and so I had to make my money last. So what I tended to live on were, I would get 2 potato cakes every day, which are like, if you're in Australia listening, everyone knows what a potato cake is, but it's essentially kind of like a bit of like a round fritter. And at the time they were like 50 cents or something. So I would get 2 potato cakes at a fish and chip shop. And then there was an orange tree in my backyard, and I ate oranges in my backyard. I ate 2 potato cakes every day.
Oh my
And then I
God.
came up with this thing that I called Spanish rice, which was like a jar of ragu and a bag of brown rice. And I would just like cook the brown rice, add the ragu, stir it up, and I ate
Yeah.
Spanish rice. So that's what I was
What?
living on. Like, I was
Oh,
living on that like the majority of time. So
oh
when
my
somebody was like,
God.
come to my house, I will cook for you, I was like, done.
Uh-huh.
Great. So I went to her house, and my now husband answered the door, and I was like, oh, it's the cute boy from whatever.
Uh-huh.
And then it took about a minute and a half of introductions to be like, oh, like they're together.
Hmm.
And from like, I just put it out of my mind. I like was like, I'd been like, that's a cute guy, and then I was just like, and we're pivoting, like we're
Yeah.
moving to something, like that's not going to be a thing.
Right.
And so this girl cooked really well. And I ate at their house a lot. And I had months of eating at their house, like lasagna once
Oh,
a week.
yeah.
I was not going over there with intentions. Like, I
Mhm.
mean, I always thought Nick was cute, and so I understood in my body, like, I'm like, he's cute, like he's attractive, and like I have fun like teasing and bantering with him. But like I ended up getting involved with someone else. Like, I wasn't at home like being like, man, I'm going to see Nick today, I can't wait. Like, he was just like, he became like a friend. I can remember like giving her relationship advice about him, being like, at one point she was like, I don't know if things are working out, and I just remember I was like distracted and not really wanting, I was not being a good friend. I was not, well, obviously, because I took her man, but I wasn't really listening. And she was going on, and I was just like, I just remember really clearly being like, you guys are like the perfect couple. Like, oh God, it's like so good. And so like
Oh,
later I reflected being like, God, what a dick I
you're
am.
just so great together. Oh my
You're just
God.
so great. Because I was just like, I don't want to hear about like whatever. Like, it was
Right.
just a day I wasn't feeling like hearing about the drama. And so I was like, you guys are so perfect together. Um, and so I guess all that to say that I had like a stack of months, like probably about 3 to 4 months of being in company with him, hanging out frequently during the week, like a couple times a week, being like out at bars, or we'd go skiing or whatever. I do remember that like when the Olympics happened, I was like backpacking in Tasmania, and I heard after the fact that like I guess the Australians like kicked Americans. I don't know if it was swimming. I think it was swimming that they took the gold medal. Like, it was a couple sports that they like won.
Hmm.
And again, Australians who are listening, your gold medal count, I'm glad that you love it so much. Australians love, and they love to do like proportional gold medal. Like, they love to do
Right.
proportional medals. Like, for the size of our country, we're actually the gods of the world.
I mean, fair, fair, in all honesty.
Sure. I mean, I find it, it's funny to me. But anyway, so he reached out to me on my trip to be like, look at the score. And I was like, I am happy you are happy, dude. Like, my
Yeah.
guy, good for you. And I mean, I remember being like happy he wrote me, but I wasn't like, oh my God, he wrote me, I'm so happy. Like, it was just like, that's cute.
Hmm.
My guy I was dating at the time, like he and my husband like went and like camped on a mountain together for like 12 days or something, like during like, you know, so there was like a lot of weird like incestuous like cross referencing. But all this to say, I had attraction the whole time. I would have said he's cute, but I wasn't like having feelings for
Hmm.
him or hiding feelings or working through feelings. Like it just didn't exist for me.
Hmm.
And then there was one night where it all shifted for no discernible reason. And it was a night that it was like, again, back at like the infamous university bar, and everybody had been out. And then as the night went on, people kept like going home. And when I go out and I get in like the right frame of mind, I can go like out, out. Like that's why like in Korea, like I could be out till like 4 in the morning hitting out. Like when my switch gets flipped and I'm like in full extrovert mode, I can just go and go and go and go.
Yeah.
So everyone went. I think my little introvert did have the hots for me. And so he was able to like power through. Um, and he wasn't like gonna put on a big move, but I think he was just like, I was charming. I was like doing my big moves of like I was fun. And so he was like in my thrall, so to speak. And at some point, everybody was gone except for us. And then they closed the university bar. And I was like still like we get into in podcast mode, like blah, 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 blah. I'm just like I'm talking, I'm going, like we're doing it.
Right.
And all of a sudden it was like 4 in the morning. And I was like, okay. Like he's like, I gotta go home. You know, like his girlfriend, like he's like, you know, it's like really late. And it was like, oh yeah, okay. And then there was just this like weird moment where it was like, we've just had like hours of connecting and having it be fun. And I wasn't flirting. I wasn't like I wasn't trying to like reel him in or anything like that.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden it was like, we have to go. And it's like, we've been friends for like months now. And like going in for like a hug or like a high, like, you know, like, what do we do? Like, what do you do to like close off this exchange that's been like super fun? And we kind of went in for like this hug, and it just was like, it wasn't romantic, but it was very awkward. And it was so awkward, it was weird. I was like, why is this like, why did this all of a sudden, like, why did
Ah.
the vibes were different? We've talked about
Yeah. The
vibes,
vibes
and
changed.
all of a sudden I was like, there's a vibe, and there shouldn't, like, there not been a vibe. And I was
Yeah.
like, now I don't know what to do. There's like a vibe. And from there it just snowballed for like 2 weeks. Like I'm
Yeah.
telling you, like within a week of the awkward hug, he was literally at my kitchen table with a shoebox full of family photos, being like, this is my great grandma from like Canada. This is like, you know,
Yeah.
Uncle Pookie Joe, whatever.
Yeah.
And was like, I feel like we're going to get married.
Yeah. And that was it.
And that was it. But I would like, again, I wouldn't have, like, if you had told me like 2 months before that, like, this is going to be like your person, I would have been like, I mean, he's cute, but like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, this isn't a thing.
So, well, yeah, like that's the thing. I think it can happen in real life. I do. I would say with K dramas, I'm going to give two examples. You're going to be mad about the one. Amy's not here to side with you. So, I'm going to two examples of where I think like one worked and one didn't. So, first of all, Reply 1988, I loved how they took the friends to all of a sudden, oh shit, I'm attracted to her and I like her. So that was oh my gosh, I don't know their names. Hold on. Reply 1988. Okay, so that was Duck Sun and Jung Hwan. And I loved how they took it from also like the innocence of kind of like teenage attraction. Like we talk about Boner Alley. Like Boner Alley was like, it's one of my favorite K drama scenes of all time where they're like running from their principal in, you know, their country town streets. And they both have to like hide in an alley pressed up against each other, and you can like see the moment it hits him where he's like, oh god, like things are happening. Things are
Mm-hmm.
growing. And also the scene, the kind of the famous scene where he realizes that he and his friend um Tech both have feelings for Duck Sun when she's like dancing and being silly. And I love that part too because nothing like crazy happens. It's just like they grew up together and he starts realizing how special she is. And he really like loves her for her personality. So I love that one because that one felt realistic and it worked for me. What didn't work for me was Itaewon Class, because I never believed that he. Actually, let me look up that. Hold on, I need to look up the because I have to explain like who I'm talking about.
Really?
Okay, so, I mean, the whole deal with Itaewon Class is Park Sero-wi, you think he's in love with, like, his friend, Suwa. Well, he is in love with his friend, Suwa, but Suwa doesn't really want anything to do with him romantically. But Yiso, who's, like, the manager of his restaurant, um, this I mean, I'm on record repeatedly saying that this romance didn't work for me. I didn't overall dislike the drama, but I did
Mm.
dislike the romance. Because in the end I never felt a realistic shift on his part. I feel like he was just like, okay, she's been there for me all this time. Oh my god, fine, I love you. Like that's how it felt to me. It never felt like a realistic shift where he's like, oh, the person beside me all along, I love her. And I also didn't also because I feel like the shift happened when she was like kidnapped. She had to get kidnapped for him to be like, "Oh god, I love you." I never am going to love that narrative in a drama. Like I said, I love the realisticness of Reply 1988, and I
Mm.
didn't feel it in Itaewon Class. I'm not saying that other people cannot love the romance of Itaewon Class. I'm just saying for me, I didn't, and that's why. So those are like again, two examples of how I think a K drama can do it right and how I think a K drama can do it wrong.
Yeah, so I will totally disagree with you on
I
Ada
know
One
that. I know.
Club.
You're not going to
Because I'm like,
disagree with 1988 though, because you loved
no,
Reply.
no,
Yeah.
not at all. I think both the primary and secondary romance that the heroine experiences on those are written like perfectly. I really love them. I also actually, just as a shout out, I'm going to say I do really love the romance that's in Reply 1994 too, which you haven't. I don't think you've seen
No, but I'd
1994.
like to. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually think that that would be a really fun one to do, where it's like the setup for it is essentially like the heroine's family runs kind of like a boarding house,
Hmm.
and which is a good premise to get like different people in, but it
Yeah.
has the same setup of like, you know, we've got couple number one, couple number two, and then they do the same conceit of like the couple 20 to 30 years out, and they're talking, and you don't like, you're not, they're different actors, so it's like who did she end up, like which one is it, bachelor number one or bachelor number two, like who is it again.
Hmm.
um and so in it is like essentially the framing is like one of the leads is called Trash. And like I didn't research, like it's been a long time since I've seen it, so just bear with me because I was like, this just popped in my mind.
Yeah.
But there's Trash, who's a doctor, and then there's another hero who is played by Yu Yun Suk, easy in the eyes,
Hmm.
who is becomes a professional baseball player.
Okay.
And they like lived in the boarding, like they all lived in the boarding house. And so which is a fun way to construct a romance, because you get that forced proximity, and then you can have different personalities, like you can have friends to lovers, kind of like bickering, you know, you can play with a lot of dynamics when you've created like that forced proximity basket to be in. So I'm just throwing that out as a recommendation that I think is
Yeah.
fun. But just giving another shout out to Kim Da Mi from Itaewon Class. Another one I really like that is a, you know, friends, maybe not going back to like the earliest childhood days, but like friends to lovers, and then kind of works itself through into like exes, then back to lovers, which is fun, is Our Beloved Summer, which
Oh,
is
right.
a drama, you know, that we've talked about, but I don't know if we talked about it quite enough because I think it's very good.
Yeah.
It
We don't
feels like a
talk about
very
it a
like
lot.
elegantly written drama to me, well acted, like well crafted. And it's funny that we just kind of, and I do it too. Like I just have not given it, I think, the flower sometimes that it's due. But what I like about it is that it's like friends to lovers to enemies to lovers, and then overlaying it's kind of like an opposites attract.
Hmm.
And so you have like, it's a trope soup, which
It
is
is.
awesome. And then there's also a love triangle in there too,
Hmm.
because you know you've got two, in the current timeline there's kind of like two men vying for her attention. um
Yeah. I would also say Fight for My Way is
Yes,
classic.
classic.
One of the best, I think. And again, that was the same where there was like no real catalyst. It was just kind of like it was just the steady like relationship building between these two friends and neighbors,
Mhm.
Park Seo Joon and Kim Ji Won, and he just I just remember like he just starts seeing her as like a woman he's attracted to. Remember, she walks out of his house and he's like, "What are you wearing? Why are you wearing that skirt? People can see your legs." And I love the like I love the evolution of their relationship.
Mm. And I think, like, to me, the other thing is, like, when I think of my real life, I moved around a lot, and so I had like one friend, like my best friend in kindergarten, in Michigan. I did end up reconnecting with in high school and a little bit in college. And like when I would go back to Michigan, I like looked him up and we would hang out. But like I never, there was no vibes, no vibes. I mean,
Yeah,
friendship vibes for sure, but it
yeah,
wasn't like like if it was a K drama, I would have gotten back together with him and had like my romantic summer evolution. We ended
yeah.
up going to like Windsor and like bar hopping together, and it was fun, but like we were not into each other at all. And I've wondered about my kids because they're having a life that I didn't have, which is like they were all growing up in a community
Hmm.
where from preschool or babyhood to not like to adulthood, they're with these kids. And so like I'm not going to get, I don't want to like give incriminating information about, my kids, but one of them had a brief dalliance with a friend that they had known from childhood, like very like first grade. And when it was kind of coming about, they were like, I bet I'm making like all your, like, this must be what you've always wanted. And I was like, honestly, because I mean, I loved both these, like, I love these kids. Like, I love my child. I love this kid. Like, I mean, all the kids I've seen grow up, like, I'm very fond of them. I
Hmm.
was like, I'm going to say no here. Like, you do you. But it also feels very much like family reunion. And it's given weird.
Because it's not like what you're used to. Yeah,
Yeah, it
I
was just like, it feels awkward to go from like kid who like I've taken home from school or watched on the playground and is now like, possibly coming over for like, smooch parties in the basement. I was like, ooh, like I like
it's funny. I was always I don't know. This seems very K drama esque. Maybe this could be a K drama, but I was always that I would have a boyfriend who had a best friend, and that best friend I would often get like vibes from them. But obviously, I was like with their best friend. Like their best friend was my boyfriend, and then my boyfriend I would break up, and the best friend would ask me out. It happened like two or three
Mhm.
times.
Me too,
And it,
actually.
yeah, it was like and it was, and I remember I'd always try, like I would say yes, and I would like try, but it never, I never could like reciprocate. Like it just never worked out. And I always felt bad because I could tell that and I also think that I wasn't what they expected. I think they were, I think because I had been like unattainable. And so they had like built me up to be in their minds to be like better than what I was. And then when I actually would go to date them, they're like, "Oh, she's really not that great." Like, do you know what I'm saying? Because I
Yeah.
think they had a different version of me in their heads. It's not that I
Mhm.
I I think I'm pretty great, but I'm just mean I wasn't what they expected. But that happened like two or three times, and all would always fizzle out. Because again, I just think they were dating me on like as almost like I was like a forbidden fruit that they could finally ask out. But then it
Yeah.
was, you know. Um okay. Did we
So let's go
oh
into some years now. I skipped a
well
bunch of
no,
stuff.
let's actually I feel like mine we can well, do we want to talk about roles that made a character like more attractive? Can you
Yeah.
think of something? Can you think of
Yeah.
one?
Why don't you start? Let me think.
Okay. So we thought we'd talk about roles that made a character more attractive because I always think this is interesting. Obviously, when you like start a drama, like you're just looking at people at face value, and sometimes you're not always like attracted to. Um, hold on. sometimes you're not always like attracted to the actor or actress just like at face value from like seeing them on the movie or on the drama poster, you know. And one of these for me was Mad for Each Other, and I remember I saw the trailer or the poster, and the actor is Jung Woo, and he plays No Hyo. And I remember thinking like Jung Woo, well, he was fine, but he, you know, it wasn't like I look at him and I see Lee Dong Wook, who I'm like instantly attracted to, no matter what he's doing. You know what I mean? And then I started watching Mad for Each Other, and the way that he did a complete like 180 on me. By the end, I was highly attracted to him, and it wasn't even just like, oh, like he's handsome. It was like, no, I was like physically like very,
Mm.
very like I found him sexy by the end of Mad for Each Other. And I think it's because his character was just once you got over the first episode where he had like a bathroom emergency for the entire episode. Once we got over that, which we've talked before about how it's like the weirdest episode one, his character was just so good. He was like he's that perfect like tortured hero, but he's like super protective, biggest heart. And by the end, he was just and he could physically protect. He also could physically protect his woman, and it was just that role made me see that actor in a whole new light, whole new light. Every time I see him now, I'm just like, yeah, buddy, you're hot, sexy as hell.
Mm. All right, I like it, and I have
Okay,
one, but
okay.
I will say that because I was like a hatery, I drank the haterade on this drama, but that doesn't matter for well, I'm gonna have two, so I'm gonna go with one, and then maybe we can go back and forth on a few others.
Okay.
Mine is going to be Oh Jung Se.
Oh,
So because the first time I watched him was It's Okay to Not Be Okay, and I'm not meant to find him attractive. Like
right,
I'm not meant to be like repulsed, but his character is not someone that like, it would have been an odd choice to be hot for Oh Jung Se and It's Okay
right,
to Not Be Okay.
right.
Um but even in Mr. Plankton, like I wasn't hot for like I like Oh Jung Se. And he was in like When the Camellia Blooms. I'm trying to think of like what else he's been in that I've seen. Oh, he was in like Revenant. But like When the Stars Gossip, Oh Jung Se,
Oh, that's so funny. Okay.
he like daddied out on me so hard. I was just like,
Right.
damn, like why am I not getting like I'm going to say a few controversial things. One is I know that there's a perpetual we've had conversations in the past about this as a pod. Forehead reveal, forehead closed.
Oh, right.
And there's something to be said for both. I understand when people are like only foreheads. But I'm going to say sometimes those bowl cuts slap. Like sometimes they are good. And Oh Jung Se had some good bowl cuts in this one. But also he just kind of had that like kind of bad he's kind of a bad guy. And like I don't know, he just had like a good as much as I found what was funny is that like Lee Min Ho in that drama. Lee Min Ho is somebody who often will surprise me because if you I saw a picture of him, I'd be like, yes, I'm conventional like he's conventionally attractive. And I'm like kind of bored, like whatever. Like I'm
Right.
always
Is
like,
he
Lee Min Ho, fine.
sexy? Like, do I
Yeah.
find him? Yeah.
But every time I watch Lee Min Ho act, pretty much, I've said there's like a phenomenon where I always forget how much I like him.
Hmm.
And I'm always like, dang, Lee Min Ho, like, I like you. You're good. And then I'll be like, I'll forget. And I'll be like, oh yeah, Lee Min Ho, whatever. And then I'll watch again and be like, damn.
Right.
Except for When the Stars Gossip. I was just like the whole time, Lee Min Ho just never got me in that drama. But I spent the whole time being like filthy for Oh Jung Se.
Right.
And so it was the one highlight for me of that drama.
I
Like
love
I
it.
enjoyed the beginning of it and like the quirkiness of it. By the end, I've been on the record, it didn't execute for me. He never I was hot for him the whole drama. And it wasn't like he was like a suit like there were times he made good choices. I mean, he wasn't just like some wonderful character. I was just like I was physically attracted to almost just like the actor and how he presented. It wasn't even like his character. I was like I had gone into like the parasocial of like peel back the character, and I'm just like, this actor is styled to my taste, and I'm
Right.
into it, and like whatever those vibes are, I'm like vibing.
Right. So, well, I'm gonna. How about I do another one and then you do another one?
Okay.
So this might sound weird, but bear with me. When I first saw An Bo Hyun, I was not like necessarily like into him. There was nothing like when I just see his picture, I'm just like, okay, he's an actor. Okay. And then and I remember even like the beginning of her private life, he was just a very like kind of nondescript like second male lead. But then there was something about him and it happens now in every drama he's in. There is something about him that is like this vulnerable sexiness that came out in her private life and that he brings to every fucking role. Like My Name clinched it for me. There was something about him in My Name where I'm just like, oh my God, like this is, he just
Mm-hmm.
has it. There is something about him where I see a picture of him and I'm not like, I mean, now I see a picture of him and I'm into it because I know what he's like capable of on the screen. But I would say before that, I would have just been like, oh, he's just another actor. But there's something about An Bo Hyun in a role, and it started with her private life as Eun-gi when he took his sad showers. That I'm like, he stole the show for me. He stole the show
Hmm.
for me, and he continues to do it in every drama he's in.
Another controversial take I'm going to give is I think he is. I am at my most attracted to Ambo Hyun in Yumi Cells.
Oh, he's so great in Yumi Cells. I will,
I
yeah.
really just, and even Yumi Cells too, where he's like not even like the romantic lead at that point. I'm like, ugh, I just love Ambo. I love his styling in it. I just love the whole thing.
Yeah. I loved his styling in the first season.
Mm. Okay, a more out of the box one. I'm trying to think out of pocket.
Yeah.
So I am going to go with An Jae Hong, who plays the older brother in Reply 1988. He was in Chicken
Oh.
Nugget. Neither of those times I'm going to say did it for me. What did it for me is when he actually is like a romantic lead in an ensemble role in Be Melodramatic. So
Um,
in Be Melodramatic, one of the characters, so it centers in the life of like three best friends, and is kind of like has like a show within a show concept. And so in it, one of the main characters, I'd say like kind of like the main character of the three friends, gets her first chance to write like her first, proper K-drama series, like 16 episode series. And she falls for the director, who is him, but they're like very prickly with each other. It's like a prickly thing, which always works for me too. But I just wasn't expecting to be hot for him. Like I've watched him in, I think, Traveler, like the variety show where he goes to Patagonia because Kong Han Newell was in it, and I'm always attracted to Kong Han. I've never. Pirates is probably the only time I've not been attracted to Kong
right.
Han
Well, that's
Newell.
going to be the next question. We'll get there. Yeah.
But but yeah, in this case, I watched it and all of a sudden I was like, hello, like I'm into it. I'm into you.
Hmm.
So, and I think it's some of it is like the person and their aura, but then like matching into that role in a good way. Kind of like when you can get that like good click in, it's like, damn, I'm into it.
Yeah. I'm really happy you brought him up because it leads into the next question. Because my next question was basically, is there a role that really made this character that, not that like this role ruined this actor for you, but it was a struggle to like get over seeing them in this role. And one of those roles for me was An Jae Hong. So I do find An Jae Hong like attractive. I liked him in Reply 1988. I even liked him in Chicken Nugget. I mean, see, like he and I also loved him in Fight for My Way. So I like his face. I like him. Okay. But in Mask Girl, which you didn't see Mask Girl,
Um,
he was awful. His character, I'm sorry, not him. His acting was great, and that's why I find him. He was repulsive. He was, um, he has sexually assaulted women.
Hmm.
They like made him up to look ugly as well. They gave him like this like horrible hair. He was meant to be repulsive, and he was. And it's like a little hard for me because he's so terrible in that drama, and it's a little hard for me to like get over the hump of seeing him like that. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
It's like the actor who played Joffrey in Game of Thrones. He like
Hmm.
left acting because everyone hated him so much.
Yeah,
Because
you're so good.
he was so good at the role that everyone was like, I can't see you as anything else. Um, and I would say the other one for me is MC1 in Squid Game. So I can get over this. I know I can. I know I can get over
Oh, that really affects. See, it didn't.
it.
That did not
Really,
take me out at all.
it really affected me because I think physically he also looked terrible in well, not I think he did.
Oh.
Well, he was meant to. He was like meant to look like beaten up. He was meant, and he was like a fraudster. He was like a bad human, and it was like really hard for me to see him in that role, and it was like close to ruining it for me. But I did see a trailer just came out for a drama called Mantis, which I'm super excited about. It's about assassins. You know me. I freaking
Hmm.
love assassins. He looks so cool in this trailer. So cool, Leah, that I think it's I mean, why didn't Strangers from Hell turn me off of MC1? Strangers from Hell did not turn me off of
Not at
MC1.
all.
I found it like sexy as hell. But Squid Game turned me a little off, and it's not his fault. It's because he was so good at the role. But anyway, he looks really cool in Mantis. I need to see it because I need to like cleanse my eyeballs from the MC1 that was in Squid Game. And same with Anjay Jung. I'm sorry, same with On Jae Hong. I want to see him in something else now other than well, I saw him in Chicken Nugget, so I guess I was able to kind of get over my trauma of Mask Girl.
I now want to see Mask Girl. Kind of. I don't know.
Mask Girl, I actually think Mask Girl is very underrated. I think it's just very triggering. Okay. So there's a lot of sexual violence in Mask Girl. It's very violent, but it is so fascinating, the story. Because basically it's about this woman who all her life she'd been told how ugly she was.
Hmm.
So she's an adult, and like no one pays attention to her. She doesn't get promotions at jobs because it's a lot of like appearance based. It's a very appearance based culture, and so she basically decides to put on this mask, and she's like a webcam girl. Okay. And she has so many fans. Um, and, but like fans who don't mean always well for her. And that's where like An Jae Hong comes in. And she goes on this like epic journey of I don't want to give anything away because I actually found it to be a really really good drama. There's just I don't bring it up a lot when we talk about K dramas only because we do talk about romances a lot and it's not romance based, but it's really good. It's just triggering. You have to like understand that there's some dark themes.
Well, I'll go to one that's not so dark. And like again, apologies. We have some people that like. There's going to be times. Actually, I'm going to just touch on this a bit before I get into it because I want to speak on it. Is like what happens when we say we don't like something, and how it can be like a personal feeling to someone or not a personal feeling to someone. And there's gonna be times where, either one of us as hosts or, someone in a chat talking about dramas be like, I don't like that drama. And that might be a drama that's like important to you, or it may be a drama that's not as important to you. And so there's gonna be times where like people will have a criticism or just not like it, and it's just gonna like wash over you because you didn't connect in some way. And then there's gonna be times where you really locked in. This meant something to you. You were interested. Maybe you felt seen in it. Maybe the story really spoke to you. You're excited about it. You want to talk about it. And I understand that it can be jarring when you're like, hey, this thing was really cool. I'm really into it. Like, this is something that I'm finding a lot of value in. And someone else is like, it's not for me. And And when we do it, I think that there can be like a layering of it too, because, you're engaging in our content or whatever. And so it can feel like, these people that I'm listening to, like, do we have some sort of like perceived authority? I'm going to argue no, kind of not really. And yes, because we do come from some professional backgrounds that give us some knowledge. But do I think I'm like an arbitrator of like good and bad in any creative work? Of course not. And like I'm probably, but I also can feel, and I can hold two things to be true at the same time, which is no, I am not. No, and I can argue that I didn't enjoy something, and I can like poke at it, and that's fair game because I'm in a space where like that's happening to me as well, and like things I create. And so I guess I'm just saying that for me, I have like a level of comfort in like I can write a book and people can be like, I hate it, I fucking hate it, I fucking hate Leah Riley, worst writer ever, die in a hole. Or they may be like, I really found that to be like lovely and humorous and it was escapist. Or they'll just be like, it was brain rot and it made me happy.
Mm-hmm.
All of those are valid reactions. It's really not for me to like wade into. But in this space, like we're critiquing work. So I just wanted to say it because like lately I've just like noticed like in a few spaces, it feeling like challenging if we landed on something that we didn't like and people react to it in a way that maybe feels like it was like personalized. All that to say, I didn't like Pirates. The movie
All
Pirates.
that to say, who did? No, I mean, if
And
you did,
somebody
power
probably
to
did.
you.
That's what I'm saying. Like somebody did. Somebody out there did. And today that
Somebody
could be
loved
you.
pirates.
Today you could be like, hey, I'm just sitting here listening to like attraction talk,
Yeah.
chilling out. And all of a sudden Leah's like, I fucking hate pirates.
And Leah's
Sorry.
hating on pirates.
Leah's hate on pirates.
Is that the full name of it?
It's called like, let me look it up. I mean, like again, we're doing the like the English title of it. It's Pirates the Last Royal
Oh,
Treasure.
that's it. Okay, okay. So it was the pirates. Okay.
Yeah, The Pirates and then
Okay.
Last Royal Treasure,
Okay.
2022. And I'm going to say that and look, this is a sequel to like an older Korean drama that I have not seen because we've also had like some feedback of like we should be like before we react to something, we should like be engaging in like source content material better to unpack it. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go back and look at the source. All I can say is that I can react to the content I saw, which was this movie. I did not enjoy it. I'm also going to say that for me, it was not that deep. And again, if somebody else is going to find that to be deep, I'm willing to hear you out if you want to bring it to me. I don't think anyone needs to. It's just, it was a movie that I watched that I was very excited about in 2022 or 2023.
We were.
And it did not land for me. I was
Mm,
pumped for it. And I was like, ruh-roh, I do not like it.
yeah.
To the point it took me out of Kang Ha-neul because I was like deep in my Kang Ha-neul bullshit.
Did. It did. It
And then
was
I was just like,
bad.
I can't
I
do it.
know.
Like, I'm just like, I don't have the ick. Like, it wasn't that deep. I was just like, I'm checked out. Like, that like really got me in a way I didn't enjoy I should have just stopped watching it. And
I
instead
know.
I watched it to the end. And then I was just like, I don't like it. And I'm like, eh. And I've come back. I've come back into my Kang Ha-neul bullshit. I've come back into my Kang Ha-neul bullshit so hard. Like
Yeah.
he's my alt K-drama bias. I have offered on air multiple times to open up my marriage to him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean it. I will
Mm-hmm.
talk to Nick. We will get the papers.
We will get the papers.
Kang Ha-neul was like, please God, no, thank you.
We will sign the NDA.
I respectfully decline. But I'm just saying, like, I'm back in my Kang Ha-neul bullshit.
Yeah.
But I disliked this drama. I disliked his character. I disliked the styling. Like the entire thing was bad for me. And for no really like profound reason. Like it wasn't problematic. It didn't cross any lines. I just didn't like it.
It was so silly and slapstick. It was like everything Leah doesn't like, truly. It
Yeah,
was
I just did
everything
not.
Leah doesn't
Yeah,
like.
it was like, yeah, very slapstick. And again, somebody's gonna be like, I watched it and I loved it and it helped me through a dark period. Fantastic. Fantastic. It
Were
sent me into a dark period.
did the penguins talk? Or is there were they like killer penguins? There was something with the
There was something
penguins.
with the penguins.
Amy would remember. God, this is when we need Amy.
Here, I'll see
She
if I
would
can pull it
remember.
up fast as we talk. The
Cause
pirate.
I just remember there was like the penguin thing was when I was like, this I mean, I can't believe that movie even had the capacity to jump the shark because it seemed like it jumped the shark from Jump. But the talking
Yeah, I think it
penguins,
was just like, I don't know, they were like sentient in some degree. They
they
were like
were
meant
for
to be
sure.
obviously kind of like whimsical CGI
They
additions.
were
I was just like, if,
the cartoon penguins. Yeah, it was like
like,
Madagascar suddenly was like in the
yeah.
movie.
But anyway, all
Remember?
this to say, Kong. I'm not trying to dunk on it. I just wanted to give the framing because it was
True.
on my mind as I
Sorry.
started to talk about it. But Kong Han Newell's character in it, just it left me like I went on like a probably like a year and a half hiatus from Kong
You
Han
were
Newell.
mad about it. You were, and I don't blame you. I
And
don't
I
blame
just
you.
like lost interest. I moved into other K-drama crushes, and I just put Kong Han-woo on ice.
Yeah, but he's
And
back, baby. He's
he's
thawed.
back. He's back. He grew his hair out and played a morally gray weakling in Squid Game, and I was like,
You loved
got
him
that
in
bowl of
Squid Game.
spaghetti again.
You did. You loved him in Squid Game.
I
You loved him
did.
in Squid Game. Um. Okay. Well, I think that about wraps it up, right?
I
Like,
think that is us having a respectable amount. I can't even say the word respectable amount of length for a drama or
yeah,
a podcast.
yeah, and that was actually that was a fun topic. I know we kind of like had some rambling, but I feel like that was really fun. We got to talk about what we wanted to talk about. And that's what I was feeling today. Like I said, we had some feedback from our sexual attention episode, and it like I wasn't ready to like give up. I wanted to like expand on the topic basically. And I mean, for real, we can talk about this topic again. I can
Well,
talk about this.
you have to feel attraction to have sexual tension.
Yeah, true. There you go. So it all feeds into
It all
everything
feeds
else.
into it. And you know what? Sometimes you're just gonna have sexual tension over things like toe socks,
Oh my god.
which I
Oh
haven't
my
brought up in
god.
a long
Oh
time.
my god. Wait a minute. How could we not? I'm sorry. Throwing in before we say goodbye an honorable mention for Anoju, because when Anoju in Lawless Layer came on the screen, I was like, ew, ew, at the beginning, and then that man turned into something else. For I don't think for Amy, but for you and me, that got dirty real fast. Anoju's legendary, legendary,
Filthy.
filthy, filthy.
I I write open door sex in my books.
Mhm.
I write open door sex with Anoju in my brain.
Yeah.
Like
Oh god,
so gross.
so gross.
So good. We haven't talked about the toe socks in a minute. So as we were talking, it did occur to me and I kind of let it go, but then I was like, I'm gonna
No,
save it till the end.
the toe socks, the voice,
I
everything
want to
about
pull
him.
off each toe sock with my teeth
Ew.
on my
Lisa,
knees
Amy is gonna be so mad we went there
in like a
again.
Princess Leia bikini.
Don't we always end up talking about him? I feel like when Amy's gone, I feel
It's
like
been
this has
a while.
happened.
We have, but it's been a little while.
God, I love him. I miss him. I didn't love Lawless Layer. It was fine.
No, I didn't like it.
I just, I need to go
His
back.
voice.
It
He
was,
had a
it
he
was
had a
a,
sex
it
voice.
was constant vocal fry, constant. It was like,
Uh,
uh.
with
Wait,
like
what was
dialect.
gosh, what was the lead character's name? Because it was the way he said it. Lawless. Let me look it up. Lawless Layer. Ah, so it was the way he said the main character's name, Bong Song Pil. Remember? Bong Song Pil. Bong Song Pil. And he kind of like he would put like a
Yeah, he had
grunt at.
the vocal fry. I think like yeah, some dialect going on, and just like again, there's like real life and fantasy life. Like real life, no, you don't want to be with
Oh,
like the bad grandpa. Bad
because
grandpa's
he
not
was like a bad, he was like a bad grandpa.
bad grandpa. In real life, I am not wanting to get down with bad
Oh
grandpa.
my god.
But in my fantasy life, I am like bad fucking grandpa.
Yeah,
Do dirty to me, dirty.
dirty.
I almost said a few things that I was going to unpack it and I just decided not to.
Yeah, we have to put this on
But
YouTube now. We can't.
yeah, but, but, and then after, give me fancy shit. do dirty, and then give me like bracelets. Like I want to be toxic.
Right. Open up your safe of money because
Yeah.
he had that.
And let me go
Uh
shopping, daddy,
God,
grandpa.
he was so great. Oh God, I miss him. I miss him. I might just watch YouTube clips of him tonight if I can find them. They
Like
better
I
not.
want to walk around after in a polyester, like one of his polyester shirts, like nothing else. Just like put on the polyester shirt and walk around just like smoking a
Oh
cigarette.
my God, his wardrobe was insane. His wardrobe was insane for Lawless Lawyer. Like I want to know everyone who was involved in the making of Auto Joe.
I want to know if we are alone in this or if there is like a culture, like if we like unpack this with other, like if we go to Korea and unpack this and are like Lawless Lawyer, Onoju, like, yes, like, are we like, yes, or are people going to be like, what the fuck?
I think we're alone in this. I mean,
What
maybe
if
some of
you're
our listeners.
listening? You let us. I genuinely want to know.
Yeah.
If you're not, you can let that by because like most people aren't. But if you are, I do want to hear because I want to know where my grandpa Tosak kink girlies are at.
Yeah. Like please give us feedback on this. I fear we're alone. I mean, Amy entertains us and lets us talk about him, but she is not into it.
And if you think I'm kidding and being hyperbolic,
We're not. Go
I
listen to our
let
Lawless
me
Lawyer podcast. Go listen
let
to it.
me I am not kidding.
Yeah.
It hits me in like the same filth pleasure center that I get for Dwight Schrute in The Office.
See, I know that you're into Dwight Schrute. I don't have that. I don't have that. But I have the Onoju like dirty,
And I'm
filthy
not hot for
attraction.
Rainn Wilson. Like Rainn Wilson's a lovely man. I've like heard him speak. I've like gone and like gotten books signed by him. Rainn Wilson's wonderful. Like I think he's funny. I think he's got interesting perspectives on faith and life.
Mhm.
Dwight Schrute is what I'm dirty for.
It's the beats. It's the beat farm.
It's the beats. It's the fucking like serial killer glasses.
Oh, okay, okay. Let's go. Let's go. All
Yeah.
right.
So no Magic Mike show. Yes, old man toe socks.
Yeah, like we're not rational. We're not.
Attraction is its own vibe.
We can't control it. We cannot. We cannot control what Anoju does to us. I mean, it's the vibe.
I want to go microwave another piece of bacon now and just like.
You enjoy your bacon. All right. Next time Amy will be back and we won't be able to talk about this because she will shut us down. So enjoy. I hope you enjoyed while you could. Yeah. So we'll see you next time.
Annyeong.
Annyeong.
Kamsahamnida. Thank you for listening to Afternoon of Delight. Where can you find us outside the pod? Head on over to afternoonadelight.com. That's AFTERNOONADELIGHT.com. You'll find links to all our social media, our book recs, K-pop and K-skincare recs, and if you want even more Afternoon of Delight, because really who doesn't, you can join our Patreon, where you can choose the patron level that's right for you. Join in daily K-drama conversations, listen to bonus podcast episodes just for patrons, and participate in our monthly live K-drama support group via Zoom. We can't wait for you to be a part of the community. Until next time, annyeong!